Like I should be able to give or get my transcript whenever I want to get my transcript.
Look, we're finally on live. I'm so sorry. 11 minutes late. We had a good intro.
Yeah.
Taylor started out. We have some new equipment.
Did I start off right?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Might be her job from now on. I started out being like the original like hostess.
Everything.
She was my co-hostess, and now she's the original hostess and I'm the co-host. That's gross. Like,
I want my transcript. They're like, only Monday, or you have to submit it on Monday and get it Friday. And first off, why does it take so long to print this paper?
It does.
You go.
And the thing
I gotta wait.
The thing I don't get is like they had me requesting transcripts all last year, but I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to wait till this year to start requesting, so I had to pay for them.
I mean, I had to do one, but I didn't have to do the official ones. Well, no, I did because I was applying to a job. But
when you apply to a job, you need
it was a tutoring. Make sure you're smart.
Well,
but yeah,
the thing you didn't get in.
You can't tell me about it because that would have been awful. But what was I gonna say? That and then the recommendation letters. I swear, if I go in there and she's like, "I need $50," I'm gonna be like. Bunch of different counselors. I'm like, Facebook, this Williams like, I don't have my counselor anymore, but can you write me a recommendation and say that you're my counselor still? Like, too much.
So much.
Make sure you do Dallas County.
I've already done it. Yeah, I got that done. I didn't get my FAFSA. How weird is that?
Okay, last week. I was like, I might as well. That is engineering. I was just SMU one and then did all the other colleges that I wanted.
Oh yeah.
Y'all come back at the 17th, right?
Yes, ma'am. But I was just like, okay. And then the girl did the same thing to Courtney. And you know how she was reacting. I was like,
Courtney.
I was like, yeah. So she was like, you really charge for that? She's like, yeah. I didn't get a recommendation.
Oh, she
in my transcript. Like told her, and obviously she had went. So like, I guess she had an appointment. I was just making an appointment, but I feel like she's gonna be like, no, it's gonna take me forever. So I'm gonna give her my brag sheet. But I don't understand if I already have my resume and my like, I already have like a whole
Why
letter.
You write all of this? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the point? Like, are you gonna read it?
But look, if it's gonna get me somewhere, if it's gonna earn me that scholarship, just do like what Dwayne said.
Yeah.
Here's your $15. That's gonna maybe get to school right or whatever. Here's your $15.
Exactly. Honestly, that was motivation, but I was like, you really trying it? Because not even college people do that. They don't charge for recommendations.
Be like, oh, you're that broke. You get it.
I don't get your nails done. You can't get your nails done.
Okay, because we told you
you can get a bill, maybe.
My dad tried to play me, so he turned off my phone at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was mad all day, so like, wow, my phone. I pull up the box. It was a cool pad with 2 eyes on it. They got your eyes.
That was a cool way.
So you got an iPhone.
No, I take care of my everybody's phone crack himself.
But it is stressful, guys. I'm sorry. I guess I should be talking to you guys. I'm staring off. But basically, our intro, since you guys didn't get to hear it, talk about our week. We basically have a calculus test coming up, and we've just been applying to scholarships in college and trying to finish it. Well, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've done.
Except the scholarship cards.
Because those deadlines, when she said the Coca-Cola, I was like, what do you mean?
It's done? I was actually going to apply to that one.
We're going on out there.
And I did the AES engineering thing.
I don't be an engineer.
It's at our career.
Did it really? What does it do?
Saturday.
Okay, let me do that. I was like engineering, not doing it.
And it's like, where do you see yourself in 30 years? And what relationships and accomplishments would be important on that journey?
In 30 years, I'm gonna be married. Hopefully, have like 3 kids. Be an anesthesiologist.
We're going to be 48.
An anesthesiologist.
Why you say you don't want to go to college? You have,
See, she's not listening. I said I'm probably not.
but don't you have to go to college to be?
There's other ways. You weren't
there,
listening.
Miss Nita.
I said because all of these due dates when everybody's like not trying to do their job.
I got
I
you
guess I
ready.
should be getting prepared.
You have to say your thing.
You're
You're gonna say it? Yeah, then say it.
Okay, guys, we are back with the Everything Teen Talk Show with the Public Library. And today, our news topic is, like I said earlier, kind of an extension of what we talked about last week. And it is about, the judge, Mr. I believe it's Brent Kavanaugh. We just,
I had to say Cavan this whole time.
because like Naugh, N-A-U-G-H, Naugh.
Ah, okay.
Kavanaugh. So basically, a little backstory. Okay, so
He raped a girl and he gonna have to pay for the consequences now.
let's not say girls. Well, and they were accusations. And basically, there was this one lady that actually came out publicly to speak out on it. I'm just going to say it again, sorry. But came out to speak publicly on it during a trial, and he is still being considered on the committee for the Supreme Court. Now, of course, in the season of, the Me Too movement and a whole bunch of other movements that support women and women's rights.
The sister movements.
Oh, yeah. She came up last week with the little slogan saying called Sister Movements. But with all of that, basically women are joining together in forces on social media, in their local communities, protesting, rallying, whatever you want to say about this, because we're in a time and an era where we shouldn't have these issues. If we see something as far as like, oh, he has a past or history of doing bad things, he should not be given, the golden ticket to be in power. I feel like there should be something in place where, kind of like how when you apply to a job and they ask, have you been arrested before? Or, how is your criminal history? And then you basically explain yourself. I feel like that should be the same for a Supreme Court. I feel like, if not even more, a process to where you evaluate the individuals that you put into points of power. But apparently that is not the case, because it's just kind of being dismissed or swept under the rug. I don't necessarily see why. But
we do see why, though. Because he's a man.
Yeah, we do see why.
And a man of no color at that. There you go.
That is also true. I feel like that should be another news topic. But okay, well, it wasn't a new protest, but it was a protest where a few celebrities attended. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Amy Schumer, but she's a comedian and actress. And basically, she was detained by police officers. And basically, she was also detained with somebody's mother. So it got really popular on Twitter. And she spoke into the camera and was like, me and your mother are going to be arrested today. And I believe a cop had said, do you want to get arrested today? And she was like, yes. And it was a whole little thing. And they put it all on Twitter. I'm sorry, guys, for shaking. It's my thigh. But it was this whole situation. And I'm not sure if they're still detained or if they've been released yet. I just saw the point of her talking and saying like, oh yes, I want to go to jail. And I feel like with that, it's important to see celebrities actually stick up for something instead of just not acknowledging it on their social media or actually being active with what they say. I know I follow a few people like America Ferrera. I think I said her last name right. She's like I don't know if you guys watch Ugly Betty. I watched it, but the star of that show.
Oh, her? I don't know who you're talking about, so you said Ugly Betty.
She's extremely popular with supporting this movement as well as Sophia Bush and Tracy Ellis Ross and all of them. So it's really important to see celebrities, actively speak out on these issues because they're who we watch. That's who we scroll past all the time. So seeing Amy Schumer just stick up for something instead of just sitting down is really important. And I feel like we should mimic her. not necessarily mimic, don't try to get arrested, but it is important for teens to see a leader outside of just like their community. Actually, seeing like celebrities do it is important. And the second half of and I had this conversation with one of my family members because they were like a heavy protester when they were in school and they were arrested and that being on the record and not being on the record and how they had to kind of clean up how they protested and how they were activists during that time so that it wouldn't damage them. My first like observation from them, what they said is number one, to be organized with who you're protesting and what your message is going to be about. You don't want to be that person that's protesting or participates in a protest and you don't know what your message is or what your purpose is. Because if it does come down to a situation where you do get arrested, you want to at least have that firm belief in what you did. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm in prison for no reason. You want to have that firm belief in what you're doing. Two, understand what you're getting yourself into. I feel like a lot of times, especially like when you first get out, and a lot of times the first time you get out is in college, you're like, yeah, I want to protest this and be a part of that, but you're not really understanding what you're getting yourself into. So understand all the consequences or circumstances that can happen, and don't just participate because it looks cool. You have a lot of people that does do that so they can have a nice, cool Instagram post holding a sign in a cute outfit with a slogan. You want to make sure you have the right motivations for that. Any comments?
I am very avid on certain things, as you guys, as past listeners, probably could have picked up on. And I was probably going to be someone who protested a lot in college, aside from my books and everything like that. But that is good advice. Like, of course, whatever you do, you should make sure you do it to the best of your ability. And here's a new device. Make sure you do it to your best ability and do it as organized as possible. But when you said make sure you know like why you're doing it, yeah, I would never do anything without knowing why I'm doing it. But have like you, because if someone asks you, you don't want to be like because in one you look stupid, and two you make everybody else associated with the movement look kind of off. So in order to represent well yourself and other people and the whole movement, just have your story put together and straight. And I would be someone who like knows it because I don't vocalize things well all the time. So I would know it in my heart, but when it comes to actually vocalizing it, I'd probably be like So I would just have to like really script it. Make sure.
It sounds good.
Yeah, make sure. I guess in a way, like would you like? I would stand up for Black Lives Matter, as I have over the past years. But it's like let's say I went to a college, right, and they started doing that, but they were protesting the way of like going and destroying everything. I'm not saying that's what Black Lives Matter does. I'm just saying it as an example. I wouldn't be someone who participated in that singular one because that's not what it's about. It's not about destroying other things and making people fear us. And this is just an example, but you can stand up for something, but maybe not be a part of every single protest because, again, protests are still ran by people. Exactly. So whether it's Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, or any other movements, make sure they're doing it the correct way because you're still partaking in it. That's basically what I got out of it. Would you be in any protests, Taylor Walker?
Yes, I would be in protest, but kind of like how she referenced, and I want to go back to that with the Black Lives Matters movement. Basically, for a while, people had a misconstrued view of how they worked because when you have, how can I say it, like a global movement, people can interpret it however they would like to. So that also comes up to you of kind of like you said, if they break stuff testing, then you might not want to join that. If that is your type of way of like protesting, then sure. But also, again, understand what you're getting yourself into. Because at the end of the day, that goes on your record, not nobody else's. And you have to really understand what you're doing and the impact that you're going to have on your life and others. So when you go out there, know what you're doing, study what you're about to do. Don't just walk in because my dorm roommate was like, yeah, this will be cool and we get free food. No. actually really understand what you're doing and go out there and protest and be like Amy Schumer and really stand up for stuff that you believe.
And another little comment that I want to add on to that would be, oh, I just lost it. Oh my god. I hate when that happens. Wait, what was it? It was very.
We're trying to gain her memory back. So I said Amy Schumer. I said know what you're protesting. Don't just go with the flow.
Something like that. Okay, all in my mind is just Black Klansman that keeps popping up. Like that's literally it. It has something to do with that. Oh, okay. I got it. So remember that you, as a person, represent someone else. She, as a Black woman, represents the complete Black race to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
If she acts a fool in front of 3 people, then she represents
the Black
women and women. She represents a natural woman. Me, I represent whatever people think I am. I would say I represent Black women or strong women, but someone else, they may think I'm Mexican. Anyway, but I don't want to act the fool because I don't want to contribute to the stereotypes that are already set in place for us.
Yeah.
So when you, again, for like the Black Lives Matter movement, when you go do something, make sure you're doing it the correct way. Because again, this isn't about, oh, well, they did it to us first or whatever. Like, no, these are the stereotypes that are going on to your children and your friends and your family. And you just want to make sure you're not contributing to that. Don't. What do you think the song's gonna be, Taylor?
We'll play.
I got
Ring.
$5 in my pocket.
Feels
Ring.
like summer. That's Childish Gambino.
Wrong.
Is it Ring?
Y'all not even.
Is it
right.
90s?
No, it's not 90s. I'm not gonna play.
How are
90s.
we supposed to know?
Just close it out and tell them.
Okay, guess it's gonna be a mystery today, guys. We're gonna just play some music for you guys. Hope you like it. Thank you for listening, and please feel free. We're gonna come back on in about 7 to 10 minutes. Thanks for listening. Everything Teen Talk Radio Show. She cut me off before I was done. You said you were gonna tell us.
I know not every time, though. I guess I should make that clear. Not every time. Just saying.
Look at that. I was gonna do something. Screenshot.
I was trying to say it so you could hurry up and find one. I was like, Taylor, what do you think it is? Well, that's when you could have shown us, like, here it is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was about to say it.
Look at her. She's not getting the subliminal message.
I can't play 2 rap songs back to back. Because my head hurts.
What did you play before? No, you had Sierra. I said Sierra.
Sierra. I like that song, Level Up. Oh, I forgot. On Monday, I went to TCU with one of my other best friends. It's not Taylor. And
she's mad.
Stop. I'm not mad. I'm just kind of.
She's confused and bent and perplexed. I remember when I was in Oasis, it's kind of like tag for a charter school. And it was some book, and it said something and perplexed. And I've always remembered that word.
Girl,
and we
I thought
read
you were
it every
talking
day.
about water, Oasis, like water. I'm like, what?
It's opportunities for advanced students in school.
I was in middle school. I almost failed. Like, first and second grade, I was like all A's. Third grade, I went to public school, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're about to fail." And I was like, "Okay, so kindergarten, I almost failed. They had to have a student teacher conference, parent teacher conference with both my parents, and it was kind of weird because I was failing. Because I remember my dad was telling me, he was like, "You have a 60." And I was like, yay. And he was like, "No, Jaden, that's bad. You got a 60. I was like, well, I'm closer to 100 than I am to 0. And he's like, right. And it's like kept going because I was right. This feels like summer right here by Childish Gambino. And first grade, second grade, I was doing pretty good, all A's. Third grade, I almost failed. Like, I knew how to do my times tables perfectly, division perfectly, addition, subtraction perfectly. I could read. I knew all of this stuff. I didn't know how to round because my private school didn't teach me that. But I almost failed. And all these other kids couldn't, like, spell or none of that. And I was like, how did I almost fail? And my teacher liked me. Like she still sees me in the
School.
yeah, in
Wait,
school.
is that?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then I had a fourth grade. I got all A's there. In fifth grade, I almost failed because
What were you doing?
I wasn't doing anything. I thought I was good. I was
failing instead.
Fifth grade was all about like
What was
group
fifth
work.
grade?
Fifth grade. Oh, I was failing social studies.
Fourth, fifth.
Yeah,
I remember fourth, and then I remember sixth. I don't remember fifth grade.
I do. I remember all my teachers. But they're like group work, and I'm like, I'm failing because of group work. And he's like, yeah, because y'all aren't completing it. And I was like, I'm doing all my part. No one else is doing their stuff, so I almost failed because of that.
I had a pretty
Crazy
decent.
things I did.
Middle school was weird, just all together.
Yeah, it was. It was like sixth grade for me. It was like I was a different person.
Oh, middle school for us started at 7. So I was an elementary student until 6th grade. And I was in the same building as kindergartners until 6th grade. And then we went to, I have a really small school. And so then middle school and high school is like one tiny building, probably the size of the cafeteria, and then 2 portables. Not even the size of like the freshman cafeteria.
That does not represent Texas, guys. That is not Texas. That is like whatever stuff she went to.
I don't want to say the name of the school, but it's a good school.
Is it Oasis?
No. That's a section in it. But I mean, I missed it, but I feel like I wouldn't have the same opportunities that I do now if I stayed there. So no regrets. I mean,
yeah, she probably wouldn't be in the. She would not be in the radio show. She would never have me. She wouldn't be as talkative.
no, not at all. Because
She
you get
wouldn't
so
be
used
doing
to
any of
people.
her mean experiments.
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Because certain things lead, and that's what was part of my essay. I was like, things just lead to other things. So it was like, what relationships do you value? And I said all relationships because you learn from each relationship that you have, especially ones where people put their hands in your food. I don't see why this is necessary. They're not this big. They're not that big. They're normal
The bigger.
size.
Oh, I don't have that.
We have.
Oh, I have my hoops. I do. They're my second holes. I have those on.
See.
Earlier today I was running to Jordan's car, one of our friends, and I was running there, and I'm like, what is all that noise? And it's literally my 2 earrings like beating together, and it hurt. It was hurting my ears. I was like, what's going on?
One thing about bigger hoops, they hurt after a while. More biggest hoops, so I need to go buy some more.
They're probably like
they're pretty big. They probably could have my phone inside of them, but they're adorable.
Oh, I want to make one announcement. So, Interact, the club that I'm president of,
I just said interact with it.
got first place on the most peanut butter jars. We got 130 peanut butter jars, and probably even more because people are still giving them to me. And I'm like, the drive ended on Thursday. Like, please stop. I don't want it. Donate them to your local
have peanut
DeSoto
butter
pantry.
sandwiches for life.
I guess I could use them. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm just
that
like,
wouldn't help the community.
Right.
So yeah, if you want your peanut butter jars to go somewhere, go to the pantry.
Yeah. Go to the pantry. Everything you gonna do it?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, welcome back to everything.
What's up on it?
I was so excited. Hello, welcome back to Everything Teen Talk with DeSoto Public Library. And now we are on to our show topic, which is social media etiquette.
So I came up with that.
And I have the facts for it.
She has the facts. I just kind of wing everything in a certain aspect. But I was really thinking, like, I've been around majority white people. I've been around black people. And I'm just like, I'm really seeing the contrast here. And I'm just like, something needs to be done. I can't deal with it anymore. Like,
I feel like we have different.
We just have a different mindsets. And I'm like, we got to get this under control. Because one's doing it okay. And one's doing it wrong. And I'm like, we gotta sort it out, okay?
Yes.
And again, this is a stereotype, but it's a very prevalent stereotype that we're proving right. And we don't want to prove them right. We want to prove them wrong. So in order for us to get So in order for us to become conscious of what we're doing, it has to be told, that's my job today. So take this. Imagine it. Close your eyes, Taylor. Close your eyes.
I'm closing them.
I shouldn't close my eyes. I'm talking to you guys. So you go to a social media. You go to Daquan's social media, right?
Why is it Daquan?
Okay, let's go to Daquan's social media. Click on it. And what do we see? We see middle fingers up.
I had to open my eyes. I already saw.
We see holding cash. We see RIPs. We see baggy pants. Not baggy pants. That's wrong. Baggy pants. So we see pants sagging. And it's like, that's not a good look. Let's go to a black girl's page. What do we see? Middle fingers up, money, twerking. Oh, and on both of these, they're still smoking weed, drugs, whatever. And we're like, why am I seeing this? Now let's go to James and Lily's Instagram, right? What do we see? It's Becky's birthday today. Happy birthday, you're my best friend forever. Like, totes. Next slide. Just went to Germany, came back, yay! Yeah. Next slide. I thought this was a nice picture of my feet. Kind of weird, but it's like, okay. Do you see the contrast here? Why do we, and this isn't for every single black person, not at all. This is just a stereotype that we're putting out there, and it's actually prevalent.
Yeah.
White people, not all people show their feet. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the gist.
It's the content of what you post.
Right. That's what we're talking about. So what I'm trying to say is, what white people post and what black people post are kind of different in the aspects of white people understand connecting people and I'm sorry.
Speaking of connection.
Right. Speaking of connection. So YouTube, the thing kind of stopped a little bit. Hopefully it's still going. But the whole point of social media is to represent yourself in a good manner and to make sure that others know what you're about. Now, if you're about money and sex and drugs and all that stuff, then okay. But again, like what I said earlier, you as a being represent a whole people.
Exactly.
You represent what black women look like, what black people look like, and we're actually showing ourselves on the best light. Now, put the guns up, put the money up, put your butt in your pants, and stop jiggling it everywhere. Like, we get it. Save that. Or go join a twerk team or something, but please do not, this whole thing is about representing yourself in a good light. And you want colleges to look at you? They're not going to like that. You want your boss to look at you? They're not going to like that. You don't look hireable. Who else?
Okay. So, branching off with what she said, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I got from this website, which basically specializes in helping people manage their social media based on whether they either want to spoof it up or they want to make some changes. And so with hers, basically their 7th tip is build a legacy for the future. So I understand that you have this passion for twerking. Some people really like that dance. Some people, but
it's how you do it that matters and why you do it.
Exactly. Because I follow people that are like guns rights people, but how they present their information, you're like, okay, it's informational. It's not just showing a picture of a gun. They're actually teaching you gun safety or something like that. So they're representing themselves well, and they probably could make that future connection with somebody and have a deal on, enforcing gun safety somewhere else. And also with that, as a team, they look at our stuff. Like a lot of times it was somewhere that I applied to and they actually asked for my Instagram handle. And it was like the asterisk field where you actually have to put it in there. So I put it in there. And so that just shows that they actually look at this stuff. So if you're over here smoking or doing some type of drug on your page and they see that, and don't think just because you delete it, they can't still see it, because they most definitely can. That's Miss Smart.
She's over this program.
Yes, ma'am.
Behind Miss Nita B.
But they most definitely can still see that stuff, and you want to make sure you keep your social media clean for your sake, and like it says, have a legacy for the future. So your social media is really representing you, and you don't want to put something on there that can taint your future endeavors.
Yeah, we got some new stuff. So again, that was Miss Mark. She just kind of walked in. She's basically just backing up what I said. Like, you don't want anything that's gonna, like she said, taint your reputation. That's gonna hold you back in the past. Yeah, kids make stupid mistakes and things like that. But come on, what are you really doing? Like, what is your point? You gotta ask yourself, what is your point? Is it here to help others? Is it here to inspire others? Are you being informative? Are you persuading? Half the people who do that don't have any purpose. I don't know. They just don't have any purpose. Another thing that I want to say is, well,
Okay, so the second thing is about how you react to things on social media.
that was what I was gonna say.
And then a lot of us have Twitter accounts, and I think that's the most popular app to where you want to comment on everything and just blurt out every word that's in your mind.
I mean, you do Twitter. I was like, I don't want no more notifications.
But with this one, it says don't be reactive. So basically, sometimes people is what you call trolls on social media, and their goal in life, I guess, is to just put things out there to make you want to react in a negative way. And you see people and they're arguing for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, they're just doing this on purpose to keep you arguing, but
because they don't have a real job.
I guess so. I don't know how that happens, but it's just important to make sure if you do want to comment on something or do react to something, make sure you do it in a way where it doesn't affect you later down the line. So I would refrain from using profanity, any racial slurs.
That'll get you fired real quick.
And it has happened, and you see it all the time. Like somebody lost their job or lost their scholarship because of a tweet they tweeted 2 years ago. So you don't want to be that person. So watch what you say when you're commenting. You think it's all fun and games, but it can also run up and catch you when you want that scholarship money, and then it's snatched away. And it's real quick.
So another thing I would just want to put out there is, okay, for those of you who are in relationships or any friendships or whatever. So let's say you get mad at your partner, right? And then you post what? What's one?
It's what you call
love
oversharing.
Is overrated, or these people ain't nothing, or whatever. If you post things that are in your feelings, things that are negative, like again, social media isn't about negativity. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be about you sharing positive content. So when you broke up with somebody and you post something about that's not positive.
And it's hard. It's hard not to do it. But just send to your
friend.
It's
for me not to do it. I'm not sure if you got it, but just refrain from doing that, because again, that doesn't look good on you. You don't want somebody else doing that to you. Like, no one likes that. What's the point? What's the point of that? Then people are gonna be all in your business and ask you what's going on, and then you want to refrain from telling them. Like, then don't put it out there.
It's just a negative train, and you don't want things to follow you.
Right.
Like, you want to leave an invisible record of what you do on social media. Just post what you need to post that's positive and keep it at that. But guys, we are going to go on a quick commercial break, and I hope you enjoy the song by Maroon 5 featuring Cardi B.
No, it's Girls Like You by Maroon 5 and Cardi B. So I hope you guys enjoy it, because I like it. Bye bye. I was like, Maroon 5 and Cardi what?
I should have been there. I was trying to get y'all's attention. I didn't want to talk, but next time you can say we'll continue this conversation when we get back or something like that. Because I don't want y'all to have to just cut it off when it's good, so we can continue when you come back. All right?
So yeah, guys, don't react on social media.
We might try to get it back together. I know the summer we didn't really do it a whole lot. I think some of the boys they're working, so they just kind of fell off. And so, but that slide is still open. If we got some new boys that wants to join, that slide is open. So I think I may just try to find some boys, some boys that can be committed.
No, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Progress.
Now it's just technology and people not shaking the table and everything else going on.
I'm shaking today. Like, I put my knee right here.
And I was like, please stop.
Okay. And I don't even notice it. I'm just like, and she's like, I can't be shaking.
here every day.
They're here every day, but they're not. Oh, let's pay attention to this. So let's play outrageous.
Outrageous.
We can figure something out to do with them. I mean,
Also, one other thing I want to say is whatever you're saying,
Don't say it.
then don't say it. Not even to your best friends or whatever.
but they don't.
I mean, sometimes it's okay.
Sometimes I always say don't say anything if you're not okay with like standing up for yourself if it gets out. So that also goes with like rumors or how you talk about people. If you don't talk to them directly, just be ready to stand up for whatever you said and own it. So if you can own it, okay, then just say it.
Right.
If you can't own it, don't type it.
Legit, don't type it. Because if you feel like it's risky, don't type it. If you don't want nobody else to come back and ask you about it, then don't type it.
Unless you're me and
do a program if they don't want to just something else.
So let's play this. Back to school.
Maybe offer
We're playing
like,
outrageous.
for,
So if you guys
maybe
want
15
to
minutes homework,
enjoy
quiet time, we can discuss it.
No, that's just clear.
It doesn't have to be anything real big, just something where they're not.
Too bad. Things you see in a yearbook. You ready?
Hair, messed up lipstick.
Whose faces?
Students,
Who?
seniors.
Senior photos. And then what do we get the senior
Gown? Pregnant?
But who's pregnant? What do they have? What do they have?
Teen face.
And then you have like not the seniors, but the people who are under us,
Juniors,
like underclassmen. And then you have the people who have the apples,
teachers,
the teachers, and then people do this on people's yearbooks,
signatures,
and then you have like, oh, I'm in a HOSA and I'm in Interact,
organizations, clubs.
And then you have like, who else?
You have clubs. You have sports, cheerleaders.
Okay, we don't got clubs.
Choir.
No.
Swimming. No. What am I supposed to be saying?
Notes for parents, local advertisements. I've never seen a yearbook. Collages, maybe, and superlatives. Superlatives? What does that mean? What kind of stuff is that?
We got pictures.
I'm over superlatives. Like, what is that? Superlatives?
You just gotta find out for us, guys.
Let's see what this is. Of the highest quality or degree. So this is an adjective? I don't know. Anyway, next. Your turn.
We're going.
We're about 40 seconds out.
Okay. That's you, Taylor.
All right. Let's make sure to open up.
Am I loud enough or do I need to grab
Yeah, you
it?
good. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Miss Mark.
Oh, you stayed later today. It's close to 7.
How'd the meeting go?
All right, let's make sure we open up properly.
Bye-bye.
I guess I'll do
Miss
it.
Renee's
You got it.
with y'all.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. See you later. Let me know whatever I can do to help. Yeah, we can talk and make it happen.
Okay.
All right, 5 seconds out, guys.
I'm afraid I'm gonna do something really weird. They're gonna watch me and like, what are they doing?
Welcome back to Everything Team Talk radio show at DeSoto Public Library. And we are back with our news topic of social media etiquette. And I feel like we should talk about our tips for remaining etiquette or keeping our etiquette on social media because we have social media pages.
Ooh, I'm so.
And we're teenagers, so.
Yes. And we're really good teenagers, so we're gonna have the best advice for you guys.
Not necessarily. Sometimes I'm kidding.
I have really good advice, even if I can't take it sometimes.
And you should say it because she posts a lot of quotes and stuff.
Just ruined my whole point. Okay, so follow a whole bunch of positivity and I would say like pro-feminist in a way of like, girl. So that's basically who I follow, and basically with that, it's like, for a girl, don't ever wait for anybody else. Okay. So yeah, your man may have 8 degrees, but that don't roll over to you. So girl, what are you gonna go get? I mean, they kind of make you think, and they're basically a lot like me. I feel like because all the quotes are kind of like straight to the point and inspirational, but still kind of like tough love, and that's kind of who I am. So that's what I follow, and that's what I post. So me just posting, like at least I'm bringing positivity up there, and people may swipe off of it. People may Oh, she just went over camera again.
On my
Can't
bed.
happen. Can't happen. Like, can't have a radio show without it. But that's what I do, and that just kind of works for me. If you want to post like Bible quotes, you can if you're into that. For other people, just post quotes about love and peace. Like that's all. That's all I do. In order to refrain from posting about a partner that I have, I've always been someone who's like, if I don't like it happening to me, I'm not gonna do it to anybody else. And I don't believe in double standards, and I try my very hardest to not partake in them. So, okay, if I don't want you posting anything about me when we break up or when we have a fight, I'm not gonna do it about you. So that's all it takes for me is if I don't want it to happen to me, I'm not doing it to you.
As far as my social media, I'm not very active as far as like on my page, but I do like a lot of stuff and I follow a lot of people. As far as who I follow a lot of people that are career based. I follow a lot of doctors.
They be following me though.
Yeah, and they come follow you back. A lot of times it's like progress posts. So like when they get accepted to med school, or I already follow people that are already doctors. So I try to follow that because it keeps me positive. It's kind of like a social media vision board because I follow a lot of female doctors, Black female doctors, just to help me stay motivated and I can see them.
Like I can do this.
Exactly.
So
It's
possible.
that's literally what you think when you scroll past it. I follow funny things. I follow just that make me happy when I scroll down my timeline. I don't want to see extraness. No, I will unfollow you immediately. But as far as avoiding negativeness on my page,
Negativity.
yeah. When it came to breakup on social media, I feel like I refrained from it because I had people to vent to. If I didn't, and the reason why I would say I would end up doing it was because stuff always ended up coming back to me where I felt like the other individual was talking about me. So I was like, I'm gonna put you all the way on social media. And it was so tempting, but it was just like, I'm classy. I'm not gonna do it that way. And so I refrain from it that way. I feel like you really have to know who you are and not stoop to that level because even though you're in a awkward position with that person, you don't want to expose them on social media because at the end of the day, that is another person.
And that still reflects who you are.
Exactly. So just try not to do it. As far as inappropriate things, I feel like, and this is one thing my mom doesn't get, sometimes it just randomly ends up on your timeline. So sometimes she'll go through and she's like, what's this? And I'm like, I don't know. But with that, just try to keep your followers small and who you follow actually look at their page before you accept it. Because sometimes people will have like an original page, but then switch how they post later on, and you're like, okay. But just update your stuff, unfollow, block. If people are being weird, Twitter is popular for that. They get really weird on there, and I've had to block a lot of people on there. So just block, delete. That should keep you pretty safe on social media.
I've only posted one thing. I guess in somewhat retaliation of a partner. And it's literally like we got in a fight over a drink because I wouldn't let him have any of my drink. So I just posted a picture of the drink and put a heart on it.
Oh,
Drink? Like what? Okay.
yeah. So I mean, you can do it like that, but it's like one of those.
No, I wouldn't even say
you broke my heart.
I wouldn't
post.
even. Yeah, don't do that. But definitely don't do that. But I wouldn't even say do what I did because again, it's still kind of spiteful to the other person.
Yeah, they see it.
And like, oh, really? You want to? Like, people can always one up you. And for me, I don't like fighting. I don't like arguing. So I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I don't like being one up because then it makes me want to one up. Or like,
right.
That's
I go from like sad to like
angry. Well, that was me.
Angry, extreme. Like you're right. Like real quick. Like there's no heartbroken. It's like sad to angry, and it's just like I need a destruction room. Is that what it's called?
Anger room.
I need an anger room because it doesn't work for me. I just don't have that. Do you have that, Miss Nita?
Not what, I'm sorry.
Oh, she wasn't even listening. It's okay. It's
I'm
her own
listening to
radio
y'all
show.
on here, so it's a delay.
Did you catch it now? It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, just be safe out here. And
we're talking about your mood swings.
Huh?
When y'all were talking about your mood swings being angry,
yeah,
mad and stuff, it just came on.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well,
protect yourselves. Block people. Stay private for a while. If you know that you're trying to do something specific as far as career wise or say if you are going, well, she's trying to do the National Guard and stuff.
Don't tell people.
Oh, I didn't thought people knew. People don't know. She's not doing that. She's going into the airport.
Just okay. So what she's trying to say is keep your plans private because only you know you failed. If you don't tell anybody else your plans and no one else knows you failed, they can't judge you. You can't be worried about what they think about your plans or whether you've completed them or not. People haven't told them. So keep your plans private.
You don't have to
obviously
overshare.
She can't do that for me because she just overshared for some reason.
No, I said that.
Anyway, but thank you guys so much for listening. I guess we're gonna end it early because like she needs to just be beat in the head with my grapes.
Can I have some?
With our craziness, and please give Taylor a touche on her intros today because again she is the best ever, and I'm so thankful to have her.
I get so boosted on this show.
Yes, she does. She gets happy, and she goes home and does like calculus. She's like, oh.
I literally die.
But it's okay. We all have those moments, and it's okay because we're all human, and we have to push through. That's what makes you a better person. Like I was explaining that to my little brother yesterday. I was like, because everything, he's like, oh, it's hard. I'm not doing it. I'm like, if you said it's hard, I'm not doing it for every single thing that needs to be done, you'd be dead by now.
I'd be depressed and in my bed watching Netflix.
Right, like that would work. So you have to keep pushing yourself. So don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And don't be afraid to be better. Because it's hard, but it's worth it.
Jeez.
Praise Jesus, amen. Time to go. Okay, bye-bye, guys. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. This is Everything Teen Talk Radio Show on Minnesota Public Library with Generation Elevate.
At 6 p.m. on Thursdays.
This is Jaden.
And Taylor.
And Miss Nita over here on the, I won't say switchboard. What is it? On the engineering part. So thank you guys for listening. Love you guys.
Peace out.
Bye. Bye.